All right, folks, welcome to the Black and Gold Blitz on FanStream Sports, powered by DSP Media. I'm Jeff Thidoff. Follow me on Twitter on the X @ThitHappens, where you can find me there. Lots to get into today. By the way, go download the FanStream Sports app. It's free for Apple and Android users. We have so many new shows we're adding all the time. Great round-the-clock programming. Go check it out. The FanStream Sports app, available for Apple and Android users for free. Also, go to the website, FanStreamSports.com. Facebook group, the FanStream Sports Facebook group. Interact with hosts and other fans. My friends, we are so close to the start of football season now. On August 1st, we are going to have the Hall of Fame game between the Texans and the Bears. Can't wait to see that and see how the new kickoff rule works. I'm excited about that. Nothing else really excites me. They'll be all scrubs playing anyway, guys who might not make the team. But seeing real live fake preseason football is something I'm looking forward to on Thursday, August 1st. The Steelers, hey, they'll the preseason hosting the Texans on August 9th. Can't wait for that. September 8th is the opener at Atlanta. So, interesting what happened with the Steelers quarterback situation. Russell Wilson injured his calf, and it was while doing like a sled drill, pulling a sled. And you ask, why would a 35-year-old quarterback need to be doing that? I'm not sure why they had him doing it. Nonetheless, he's missed like 4 practices in a row now. So Justin Fields is getting all the work so far with the number ones. And he's, by all reports, he's hit and miss, hasn't looked great, but it's a great opportunity for him, nonetheless, to be able to be out there and getting these early season reps. Not sure when Russell Wilson will come back and be on the practice field, but as of right now, Justin Fields has been taking all the first team reps, and he's going to have every opportunity in this, I think, to win the job. Russell Wilson, I expect to be the starter, but if you look at it, the way it's set up for the Steelers, if the first part of their schedule is the easiest part, when it gets to the end, it's a brutal end to the season. So hopefully Fields gets some work early on. We'll see how it's Russell Wilson. Wilson gives them the best chance to win this year, I suppose. I'll go with that. But long term, Justin Fields, I think, is going to be the quarterback for the Pittsburgh Steelers. They're both done after this year as far as contract goes, Wilson and Fields. We'll see what happens. We'll see if Wilson can stay healthy. Again, 35 years old, had a decent year last year for Denver, but nursing a calf injury right now, missing out on some practice time. Other news with the Steelers. Earlier last week, that George Pickens got into a shouting match, it looks like, with their new receivers coach, Zach Azzanni. And they called it a heated exchange, what they said. Azzanni didn't like the way Pickens had executed, this is according to The Athletic, his assignment, and the receiver was upset about that. Pickens got upset when he heard that. He was very upset after the exchange. You know, Pickens, the second-round pick out of Georgia back in 2022, he's had moments. This is a big moment for him, though, this season, a big opportunity for him this season because of the fact that they have gotten rid of Deontay Johnson. There's not really a surefire number 2 on this team. We're not sure who it's going to be. When it's all said and done, the Steelers could still make a trade, which I hope they do. I hope they get Brandon Ayuk. I don't know what the draft capital they have to give up to get him, but I hope they still pursue that. We'll see if that happens. San Francisco has said they're not going to trade him. Ayuk wants a trade or a new deal. The Steelers can find a way to afford the new contract if they do go out and get Brandon Ayuk. Last year, Pickens had 63 catches for 1,140 yards and 5 touchdowns. So we'll keep an eye on that and how that plays out. With the Steelers and it'll get going here in training camp. Other news: the Steelers announced, it was Art Root Jr., the president, announced that there are more inductees. There's 4 more inductees into the Hall of Honor. They just started doing this in 2017. I thought they'd done it long before that, but 2017 is when they started doing this Hall of Honor. And this year they've added 4 people in it. There are now 53. After this, there'll be 53 people in the Hall of Honor. It's a pretty cool thing out at the stadium if you get a chance to go out there and check it out. Dick LeBeau, former assistant coach from 92 to 96 and also 2004 to 2014. He's one of the 4. He did a great job at the defense with the Steelers, and he started with the Blitzburg unit, they called it, back in the 90s. Troy Polamalu was on those teams. But they when LeBeau was there, there's been 4 times when LeBeau was with the Steelers. They led the NFL in fewest points allowed. And in 2008, they also topped the league in fewest total yards allowed. So LeBeau did a lot of great things. He's one of those guys who, because he didn't have success as a head coach in the NFL, he's one of those guys who was great as an assistant or as a DC that would not make a good head coach, as that proven by the fact he was in Cincinnati, but I don't know if we can blame him for that one. Jason Gilden, outside linebacker from 1994 to 2003. He was called Baby Lloyd. He had the Steelers franchise record for sacks. I know sacks weren't kept as an official stat, I think 1974. But when he retired, he had the most sacks as a Steeler, 77, and James Harrison then passed him. Obviously, Harrison now is the leader there. He was a Pro Bowler for a few years, All-Pro back in 2001. He had 45 sacks over a 3-year period there, and he had a career-high 13.5 in 2000, over a 4-year period. He had a career-high 13.5 sacks back in 2000. He also going into the Steelers Hall of Honor. By the way, I've mentioned this before, they are going to, I'm trying to find the game they're going to do it at this year. But anyway, they'll have 53 players there. They opened it, the hall in 2022 out there. Third one on the list, Willie Parker, running back from 2004 to 2008. And he has the record for the longest run in Super Bowl history, 75-yard run that helped them get the Super Bowl that year. And he averaged 1,337 rushing yards over a 3-year period from 05 to 07. Steelers starting running back on their 2 most recent championship teams. He's also the team's only running back with 2 200-yard games in the same season. That was back in 2006. And finally, Casey Hampton, the nose tackle from 2001 to 2012, is getting inducted as well. He was a Pro Bowler 5 times, and he also had a big sack in that game against Seattle. Willie Parker had a long run, 21-10 win. He had a big sack in that game late in the game. So they're all going to the Hall of Honor. If you haven't had a chance to check it out yet, go check it out next time. I also call it Heinz Field. That's what I want to call it. I wish it was Three River Stadium. But nonetheless, go out at Acrisure Stadium. I know it's not called that anymore. But go ahead, check that out next time you get out there. The Steelers, we're going to keep an eye on what's going on in training camp. Number 2 receiver position is going to be a critical thing on what happens there. I love Pat Freiermuth this year. If you're talking about production from a tight end, I think he's going to have a big year, especially if Wilson's a quarterback. Even if Field is too. I think they're both going to look to the tight end quite a bit this year, especially being void of a really solid number 2 receiver on this team. So I hope a trade gets made still. I don't think it's that somebody gets cut. I don't want to see that necessarily. I'd much rather go out and get Brandon Ayuk if they can pull that off. Also, we're going to be watching very closely the offensive line and how that plays out. You got some young guys in there, lots of talent, but it'll be interesting to see the chemistry, how they decide to slot everybody on that offensive line. That'll be key. Also watching the Cam Hayward situation. He wants more guaranteed money, and the Steelers haven't done it yet. They normally don't negotiate in season. So if it doesn't get done soon, it won't get done at all. But Cam Hayward, 35 years old, coming off an injury, but still a very productive player for the Steelers. Someone they're going to need desperately this year. This AFC North is going to be a gauntlet again this year. With the Browns now, Deshaun Watson back, we'll see on him. But they added Jerry Jeudy there to their team. The Browns have got better receivers. So you have Nick Chubb on that one. The Ravens add Derrick Henry. The Bengals get Joe Burrow back. So the Bengals lost obviously Joe Mixon's in Houston now, but they still have they've got Chase Brown, the running back, also needs to get a lot of carries for them. Can't wait to watch how this all plays out. Make sure you tune in, though, often. The Black and Gold Blitz will be coming back. More news as we get further along in the preseason, and obviously going into that game on August 9th against the Texans. That's it. I'm Jeff Thidoff. Follow me on the X @ThitHappens.